Good day. Today we will discuss about the two programming topics, if then else statement and procedures and functions. As is customary, we will take a brief look at a very beautiful poem by the poet John Keats of 19th century, written roughly 200 years ago. He says, "A thing of beauty is a joy forever. Its loveliness increases. It will never pass into nothingness." Wonderful poem it is. If you get a chance, please take a look. Now, what we'll do is we'll continue with the if then else statement. What we'll do is we'll write a program which will find out if a given number n is even or odd. Now, before we rush into any program, to write any program, we need to pause a little bit to understand the idea behind every program. Once we are thorough with the idea, then the writing of the program becomes easy. It's the same approach we have to take whether we design a small program or a huge ERP system. The architecture that holds a huge ERP system or the design of a small program or the design of a small system, the idea has got to be very clear in our minds. So we will develop the idea first. What's the idea that we are going to use? If a number is exactly divisible by 2, then we know that a number is even. Numbers such as 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, so on and so forth. Otherwise, 1, 3, 5, 7, these numbers are all odd. So what's going to be the program? The program is going to be here. Now here we are looking at the usage of if then else statement. The program is input n. Then if some condition, print n is even, else print n is odd. So it's very simple. So this has got to be a condition that will check whether the number is getting a reminder of whether it is divisible by exactly 2 or not. So that's what is happening here. N percentile 2. Here this is what is called the modulus operator. It will extract the remainder. It will extract the remainder and give it to us. So that we are comparing with 0. If that remainder is 0, then this whole thing is evaluated as true. To be simple, if this is true, then print n is even. Now what is this? This will extract remainder and we are checking whether that is 0 or not. So we print n if that is 0, else print 0 odd. Now here we have seen the usage of if then else statements. Now else statement is not compulsory, it's not mandatory, it's entirely optional. Okay, so now we will go to the next statement, procedures and functions. Now when we look at a procedure, the idea here is that we have a main program. The it's executing the main program, and here we are calling a function or procedure. We are calling a procedure. We are passing input parameters here. So what it will do is when executing, it will go to that function. It will take a detour. It will go there. It will go to the function. It will evaluate. This is the function. This is the body of the function. It will evaluate all these lines and then go back here and then continue the execution. Now if we see what's in this function, that you have to write the code. So what's there in that code? That is same like before. This is the input parameter. So input parameters, name of the function, name of the procedure. It goes there. We are passing n. This is same condition like before. If this is true, then that means we are getting a remainder of 0. We will print even number, else print odd. And then we are returning. Now here return is not really required because this being the end of the procedure, it will anyway return. But sometimes return becomes compulsory where the path exactly we need to know, exactly we need to return from a specific point, then we need to use return, but here it's okay. Now we will look at the usage of a function here. Function is just like a procedure. Only thing is it returns a value such as an integer or real number or a character. Now we'll take an example. We'll write a program to find x plus 20. X is the input and output. X is the input, output is x plus 20. So we are writing this program. Now what does the program do? Here is the program, main program, input x, y equals add 20. This is the name of the function. We are discussing functions here. So we are defined a function here. We are passing it an input parameter. It has gone there. It will do this and then return. Now here you see that it's returning a value here. What value it is returning? It is returning an integer. because that's how we define the function integer. It's return. It's like just like writing. This statement is just like writing y equals x plus 3. Y equals x plus 3. It's going to evaluate this. How is it going to evaluate? It will go here, execute this, and come back. When it comes back, it returns b. What is b? It's an integer. So this returns an integer. That integer is put into y. So y equals, it computes that, adds 20 and comes back, and then print y. So we get the output here. So we have discussed in functions, procedures, and if then else statements. Now in the next class, what we will do is we'll try and cover recursion and local and global variables. Thank you and have a great time in the meantime.